Good morning. Welcome to the final Feel Good Flow of February. We'll see who we have joining this morning. Of course, if you're doing this after the fact, you can always skip ahead the first couple minutes and get moving if you are already ready to start moving. And being the final Feel Good Flow of February, we are going to explore one more crow pose. Just when you thought we couldn't do any more crows, there's one more that I want to play with. And there's also more, but there's only four Mondays in February. So we're going to be playing with baby crow today. And just because it's baby doesn't mean that it's easy. The baby crow is crow on your forearms. So if you do experience some wrist sensitivity in your crow pose, then this will be a little break for the wrists because you're on your forearms. And it's just a different pose. It's a different way of feeling your body in the same pose, which hopefully, these little exploring different postures kind of help you to feel your body in the different postures. Even though everything is kind of similar, there's always some differences, and you might feel like crow pose is really hard, but baby crow is a little bit easier, or side crow is really hard, but normal crow is easier, and that's all good. Good morning, Melanie. Welcome. So yeah, give yourself some time to just get set up, roll out your mat, grab yourself a block that might be handy for this class, and anything else that you normally need, maybe grabbing a sip of water. Hello. Welcome. Oh my God, Double Trouble Mama, oh my God, why can't, Amelia. There you go, Amelia. I was like, my brain was majorly pausing there for a minute. Nice to see you, your little picture there, Amelia. Hope you're doing well as your little babies. So yeah, get yourself set up. This will be roughly 30 minutes, probably a little bit more, but if you need to leave, then you can leave whenever. So go ahead, and I think we're gonna get started now. So if you have music that you want to put on, go ahead, put on some music, maybe the playlist that I shared, maybe something else. And then we're gonna begin in a child's pose. So somewhere towards the back of the mat, knees as wide as you'd like, big toes together, arms can reach out nice and long, and just get yourself settled. Take a few breaths, and I'll be there in one moment. So in your child's pose, sinking hips back towards your heels. Arms can be long, head resting onto the mat, or if your head doesn't touch the mat, you can slide your block, or you can stack your hands and rest your forehead on top of your hands. Wiggling around a little, maybe rolling the head side to side. Sometimes it feels nice to massage out the forehead a little bit. Sometimes it feels nice to move the hips around if this feels a little bit intense for you in this moment. And just give yourself your nice deep breaths to start off. There is nothing more required from you right now than just breathing. And like I said at the beginning, we'll be moving towards baby crow, which is a posture that I've been having some fun playing around with in different classes. And it's crow pose on your forearms. So a little bit less intense for the wrists, but a little more shoulder action required. Same principles of strengthening in the core. And so just because you might find crow pose hard, or you might find crow pose easy, you might be the opposite for baby crow. Can you just allow yourself to be open to whatever happens, open to whatever sensations come up, open to all of the possibilities that you have, all the possibilities and things that your body might be able to do. You don't know until you try. Let's take a deep breath here together. Breathing in through the nose, feeling your lungs, your belly fill. Breathing out through the mouth, feeling everything soften. And since this class is short, let's get moving. So we'll rise up, but we'll keep the forearms onto the mat. So the elbows are underneath of the shoulders, knees underneath of your hips, like you're in a tabletop, but on the forearms. Can you feel your forearms and your fingers press down? And then we'll take some cat-cow from here. So with an inhale, coming into the cow shape, dropping the belly, lifting the chest, lifting the tail. And with an exhale, rounding into your cat, tucking your chin, tucking your tail. Again, inhale to lift the chest, drop the belly, arching the back. And exhaling to round, push the floor away with the forearms, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Take a couple more with your own breath, already noticing maybe that this feels different, that your body moves in a bit of a different way just by having, with that difference of having your forearms onto the mat. It might feel good, it might feel weird, but can you just be open to whatever it feels like? All right, we're gonna add on a little bit here. So next time you inhale, we'll kick the right leg back so it's straight back behind you. And as you exhale, take your right foot out to the side, squeezing the outer right hip. Inhale, bring it back behind you. And then as you exhale, can you bring your right knee towards your shoulder? It's okay if it doesn't touch. We'll take two more like that. Inhale, kick the right leg back. As you exhale, squeeze the right hip. Try to keep the shoulders and the hips stable. Take the leg out to the side. Inhale, take it back behind you. Exhale, squeeze it a little tighter. Maybe it gets a little closer to your shoulder. One more time. Inhale, kick the leg long. Exhale, take it out to the side. Strong flex in the foot. Inhale, bring it behind you. And exhale this time as you squeeze it in towards your shoulder. Can you press into the hands, lift the elbows, step your foot out wide. So you're in a wide lunge, heel in, toes out. Left hand stays planted. And then with your next inhale, roll to the edge of your right foot. Reach your right arm up for a little twist. As you exhale, bring the foot and the hand back down. So we'll take a couple more like that. Inhaling to open up. Roll to the edge of the right foot. Exhale to bring it back down. And again, with the breath, can you feel this movement and this, the movement is being initiated from the hip. So rather than just rolling open, I want you to squeeze that outer right hip and glute. Let's do one more because it feels nice to open up. And then this time, as you bring the hand down and the foot down, we'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, take a nice big step up, wide into a squat. So heels in, toes out. First squat, probably of the day. Take it nice and easy. So hips don't have to be super low. Your feet don't have to be flat on the floor. Maybe you lift the heels, maybe you lift the toes, maybe you move around. It is all good. Do what feels good right now. Do what helps to warm up your hips. Maybe you settle into stillness for a couple breaths. Maybe you keep your hands on the floor or bring them to your heart. Just take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, we're folding. So lift the hips high, turn the toes in, walk the feet to about hip width apart. Take a gentle sway here. Really our first forward fold where we warm up the backs of the legs. So it's normal if they feel a little tight. Breathe some more space down into the hamstrings and the calf muscles. And then we'll take a big bend in the knees. We'll come into gorilla. So slide your hands underneath of your feet, stepping onto your palms. You might not get the toes all the way up to the wrist crease, but you might. So you may as well try. Bend the knees. Allow the elbows to open out wide, the head to hang heavy. And then maybe you draw the elbows in a little closer towards the shins to get more stretching in the forearms, in the wrists. Take one more big breath in. And a big breath out. And then as you inhale, slide your hands out from underneath of your feet, lengthen the spine, come up halfway. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale to stand all the way up, pressing down into the feet, arms reach high, palms touch. Exhale, let's come all the way back into our forward fold, head hangs heavy. Inhale one more time, lengthen the spine, lift halfway, squeeze the thighs. As you exhale, fold, plant the hands down, take a big step back into a plank. From knees or toes, make your way to the mat. So we're just moving through a little flow. Inhale to lift your chest up, shoulders slide away from the ears. Exhale, press yourself back. We'll tuck the toes and lift the hips high into downward facing dog. Pause and breathe and move around if you'd like, or stay still if you'd like. Again, really still just waking up the body, warming up the body. Bringing some awareness into the body. And let's lift the heels nice and high and gently lower the knees down onto the mat so you're back into your tabletop. And then we'll lower the forearms back down onto the mat. So elbows under shoulders, coming back into our little cat-cow from here. With an inhale, the chest lifts up, the tailbone lifts high. With your exhale round, can you really feel yourself pushing the floor away? Inhale, the shoulders slide together and down the back. Exhale, the shoulder blades spread wide away from each other. A couple more with your breath, noticing maybe you feel just a little bit more open here. The spine is warming up, the body is warming up. Hopefully starting to feel good on your Monday. All right, finish off one more. And then next time you inhale, we'll start to kick the left leg back, flex the foot. As you exhale, squeeze outer left hip, take your leg to the side. As you inhale, bring it behind you. And then as you exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Try a couple more and try to look down towards the floor, pressing the left leg back. Take it out to the side. I know that it's nice to look at the screen, but I don't want you to hurt your neck. Staying with the breath. Exhale, knee maybe to shoulder. Let's do one more. Try to keep the hips and the shoulders level. It doesn't matter how far your leg comes out to the side. All right, next time you bring your knee to your shoulder, can you press into the hands, straighten the arms, step your foot out wide to the edge of your mat, heel in, toes out. Our right hand stays where it is, under the shoulder. And then with your inhale, roll to the edge of the left foot, reach your left arm up. And as you exhale, bring it back down. A couple more with the breath, rolling open and gently drawing in. So squeezing outer left hip to peel it open. And then bringing it back down, using the inner thigh to do so. Let's take one more. Bring the foot and the hand down, right toes tucked this time, right knee lifts. Take that big step up into your squat, heels in, toes out. If the heels are really lifted, you could try taking your feet a little wider, or you could fold up the mat underneath of your heels. Maybe sticking with movement or stillness. Again, this is your practice. Do what feels right for you. Maybe the hips still need some movement to warm up. Maybe they feel ready to hold here. Maybe hands to heart. If you're bringing hands to heart, can you gently open the knees with the elbows and then gently squeeze the knees back into the elbows so the legs are really working here. The spine is long, the chest is lifted. Breath is steady. We're holding this one just for a couple more breaths. Feel the weight in the heels pressing into the outer edges of the feet. Feel your heart start to beat. Mine always does in a squat. Beat a little stronger, getting a little bit more awake and warm. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, fold, lift the hips high. Drop the head, shake out the legs. You can heel toe the feet a little bit closer together, about hip width apart. Bend the knees as much as you need to. This time in our forward fold, we'll circle the arms behind our back. Fingers interlace, palms squeeze together. Elbows can be bent or straight. And let the arms float away from the body. Yeah, maybe you stay with movement. I always kind of like to wiggle around in this forward fold to move the shoulders around. As you do this, can you think about squeezing the shoulder blades together? And think about breathing deep. We'll keep the hands clasped, come to stillness in the center. Inhale, lengthen the spine halfway. And as you exhale, fold, release your hands down. Inhale to stand all the way up, palms touch. And exhale, hands to heart. Let's take one little flow here just to keep warming up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, fingers spread wide. Take a step or maybe a little hop back into plank. And then from knees or toes, bend the elbows, lower halfway or all the way. Chest lifts up, cobra, or straight arms, thighs lift, upward facing dog. And then pull the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Pause in your dog for one big breath in. And one big breath out. Next time you inhale, lift the heels, look towards your hands, bend your knees, take a step or maybe a little hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise all the way back up to standing, palms touch, maybe a little lift of the chest. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, from here we're coming into a tree. So the right leg stays nice and strong. The left foot, it finds its way to the inside of the right leg as you find your balance. Taking foot either to calf muscle or if you'd like up onto the inner thigh, just be mindful of that knee. Right foot stays really rooted, so really press into the big right toe, squeeze the thigh, the glute, allow the left knee to peel open. You can stay here, maybe hands on hips, as you lengthen, lifting through the spine, lifting through the core, or if you'd like, you can join me bringing hands behind the head, fingers interlaced, so you're supporting at the back of the neck, elbows open wide. Cool. Finding your tree again if you lost it, and then we'll take a big inhale. As you exhale, take a little side bend to the left. So we're squeezing the left side of the body. And I want you to think about lengthening through the right side. So you don't have to come too far, it's just a little movement, but you're thinking about that sensation here, lengthening from your shoulder all down your right side, through the rib cage, as you keep rooting into the right foot, squeezing right thigh and glute. Using your next inhale, come back up through center. And as you exhale, take a big step back with the left leg. We're coming into a lunge. Left toes tuck under. Sweep your arms behind you. As you breathe in, reach the arms forward and up. Lift the chest. As you breathe out, reach them back and down. Left knee can come down if it needs to, but we're not here for too long in our lunge. You just circle the arms with your breath. Feel the movement come from the shoulder. Legs super strong. All right, this last one, we circle the left arm underneath of the right. We're coming into eagle arms. So the elbows stack. You can grab shoulders if you'd like, or with your palms still facing away, maybe you can bring your palms together. Take an inhale here, straighten the front leg, lift the elbows, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, come into warrior two. So the back foot pivots flat, the right knee bends, the elbows pull down. With the breath, we inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms up, back foot stays flat. With your exhale, bend the right knee, pull the arms down. Couple more, inhale to straighten, reach. Can you feel the stretch on the backs and the arms? Exhale to pull it down, bend the knee. One more time, inhale to reach up. And exhale, bend into the knee. This time we're coming into humble warrior. So start to fold all the way to the inside of the right leg. So the rib cage grazes the inner thigh. Eagle arms can stay if you can, or hands to the floor for more support. You can choose. We'll relax the head, let it hang heavy. Can you pull your thigh right towards your right shoulder? Can you press your left foot down? Can you breathe and maybe find a little bit of softness here in the shape? Noticing the points of resistance where your breath gets stopped. And then breathe a little bit deeper into those spaces. Let's begin to unravel the arms. Hands point to the inside of the foot. Heel toe the right foot wide. Hands are shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers wide. Left knee can stay lifted or it can drop down if you need to. Doing your best. You're going to squeeze your right heel towards your glute. Pull your right knee to your shoulder. And then press firmly into the hands as you circle that right knee up, opening the hip up into your open hip down dog. Let's try it again. Inhale, come forward. Actually, exhale, come forward. Right knee circles towards the shoulder, feeling this in the hip. Inhale to open up. Hip rolls open. If you need to, left knee can come down. And you do the same thing from tabletop, just tapping knee to shoulder or as best you can. And opening up. Whoo, baby. Let's do one more. Tap knee to shoulder. You've got this. Open up. We meet. Oh my gosh, that hip is like, no. We meet in downward dog. So we'll straighten the right leg. Step the big toes together. And then start to take a little crouch. So the heels are lifted high. Take the knees wide. As you send your hips back towards your heels, Start to crawl your hands back. We're lowering all the way to a seat. I'm just gonna hop forward a little so you can see me a little better. Plopping down gracefully or not to a seat somewhere towards the back of your mat. We take boat pose, getting a little bit more into the core. Legs squeezed together if they can, grabbing onto the hamstrings or hands on the floor for support. Start to lean back. Feel your spine long, your chest lift, your shoulders slide away from ears. Maybe the one toe lifts off the mat, maybe the other, maybe both. Keep breathing. Keep pulling your belly button towards your spine. Find something to focus on. Maybe it's those big toes. Maybe you want to take your arms long. Prioritize the length in the spine and the strength in the core before lifting the feet. Be wherever you need to be and breathe into there for one more inhale. Stay for your exhale. You've got this. And then we'll cross the ankles, plant forearms down onto the mat. We're stepping back into a forearm plank. So the toes can either be tucked under or the knees can be down onto the mat. Same thing, doesn't matter if the knees are lifted or lowered. Keeping the shoulders right in line with the hips, so hips aren't piking up or drooping down. Strong in the center, a little tuck of the tail, but a lot of strength in the core. From here, we press into the forearms. We'll take a few little shifts forward and back. Feeling the shoulder blades spread away, sort of like you felt in that first little cat-cow at the beginning. And then we'll pause in the center. Start to walk your feet up into dolphin. So toes tuck under if they weren't already tucked. Keep focusing one point on the mat. Be mindful of the neck. So dolphin is like downward dog, but on the forearms. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Heels are probably lifted high off the mat. Keep squeezing the core, pushing the floor away. And then from here, either straighten one arm at a time, or you can straighten both, coming into your downward dog. Doing the best that you can, that's all you can do. Look to your hands, lift your heels, bend your knees, take your step or your hop into your fold. Lengthen and lift halfway. Fold as you breathe out. And then stand all the way up, palms touch. Bring your hands to your heart. We do that sequence one more time on the other side. So you know what's coming. You know how your body feels right now. You take modifications if you need to. You take that intensity if you want to. We'll shift the weight into the left leg this time, coming into our tree. So squeezing left thigh and glute, pressing into the big left toe. Right foot comes to the inside of the leg. So calf muscle or inner thigh. Again, be mindful of the knee. Maybe you take your hands onto your hips to feel that they're level, to feel that lift in the core as you draw the ribs in. Feeling the length in the spine. And if you'd like, you can take hands behind the head, interlacing your fingers the opposite way. Elbows open wide, but ribs stay pulling in. So rather than thinking about back bending, lifting the chest, think about strengthening the front of the body as the elbows open wide. All right, take an inhale here. And as you exhale, take your little side bend to the right, squeezing the right side of the body right at the waist, lengthening the left all the way, maybe from the elbow down through the shoulder, through the rib cage to the hip. Finding your balance as you focus one point. Even if you fall out, it's all good. Get back in, try again, see what happens when you try, when you do something new. Let's come back up through center. Take a big step back with the right leg coming into your lunge. Feet hip width apart. And then we'll circle the arms behind, little opening of the chest. And then keep circling them all the way forward, up, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Let's do one more like that. Feeling the movement again come from the shoulders. Keeping the legs strong. This time as you reach forward, sweep the right arm underneath of the left. Either grab shoulders or with the palms facing away, come into eagle arms. Let's inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms up. As you exhale, back foot spins flat. Bend the left knee, pull the elbows down. Adjust your stance if you need to for warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg again. Reach the arms up higher. Exhale, pull elbows down, bend left knee. Two more times. Again, feeling this in the shoulders, in the upper back. Feeling your legs and your core support you. This time as you bend into the left knee, start to fold all the way into your humble warrior. So the left thigh is hugging the left rib cage. The head hangs heavy. Again, if you need support, hands to the floor, no problem. Can you think about tucking that left hip under, pulling it towards the midline? As you hug the inner thighs, let the head hang heavy. Find softness in this posture, maybe even close the eyes. Feel your breath fill up your back, your shoulder blades. Where is that resistance? Can you find it with your breath? And soften it just a little bit. Slowly unravel the arms, hands point to the inside of the left foot, heel toe the left foot wide. Again, right knee can come down if it needs to. Firm the fingertips into the mat. You've got this. We'll squeeze heel to glute, knee pulls into shoulder. As you inhale, circle the left knee, open it up like a semicircle into your downward dog with the hip open. And then as you exhale, lift the back heel, shift back forward, left knee taps left shoulder. Imagine you're drawing a big circle with the left knee, feeling it in the hip. Again, if it's too much, right knee comes down. You do the same thing from your tabletop. You got this. Taking one more, shifting forward or just moving at your own pace. Oh boy. Once you've opened up, let's all meet in downward dog. Take the left foot to the mat, big toes touch. Heels lifted high. Start to crouch, hips pressed to the heels, knees open wide. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet. And then we'll make our way into our seat. Again, I shift forward a little. Maybe you do too if you're super far on the back of your mat. You come to a nice seat. We sit up tall for one more little boat pose. Legs squeezed together if you can. Use your support, hands to the floor or the hamstrings, or reach the arms long. Again, the length in the spine, feel that first. Feel the strength in the core so you feel supported and strong and ready. And then when you are, feet lift. Find one point of focus, soften the shoulders, maybe the shins parallel, maybe the legs straight, reaching the chest high, feeling wobbly, it's okay. Even if that boat capsizes, it's fine. You're gonna find a way to patch up the hole and you'll keep moving forward, stronger than you were before. Stay with the breath with me. We've got this. Take one more inhale. Stay for your exhale, pull ribs to hips. And then we cross the legs, plant the forearms down, step back into your plank, knees or toes, elbows under the shoulders. Press the palms, press the forearms down into the mat. Feel the shoulder blades spread away from each other. Keep the back of the neck long, so gaze somewhere between the forearms and the wrists. And then right away, we'll walk the feet up into dolphin. Maybe the head starts to hang heavy as you look towards your feet. Allow the knees to bend, allow the heels to lift. Keep pushing the floor away, staying strong through the core and the shoulders. From your dolphin, we'll bend the knees. They can either touch the mat or hover. So it's like you're in a little crouch. And then lift the hips back up. Take a tiny little step forward. And then again, bend the knees. They either touch the mat or hover. Keep pushing the floor away. Lift the hips up. You've got this. We've got one more. Step the feet up a little closer. Bend the knees. They might touch, maybe even close to the elbows. Lift the hips back up. And then walk the feet back. Give yourself some space. Take child's pose. Hips to heels. Head to the mat, arms rest by your sides or stack hands underneath of your forehead. Oh boy, feeling the heartbeat, feeling the warmth in the upper body, in the shoulders, the core, the back. Hopefully feeling good. Maybe you stay here and maybe you've had quite enough. If you'd like, you can try, you can watch. You can save this video, come back to it again as we work towards our baby crow. So if you've never done baby crow before, follow along and then play at your own pace. I'll just show you step by step. We take the forearms onto the mat. Everything that we've been doing, pressing forearms down, spreading the shoulder blades wide. Tuck the toes, begin to lift the knees, take little steps forward. So the knees are wide, and eventually you want to get the knees onto the upper part of the arm. So anywhere between the elbow and the shoulder is good. And feel free to adjust here. So know that you're not glued to the floor. You can always lift your elbows up, bring the knees even closer, and then drop them back down. And then in your baby crow, I want you to look forward. So beyond the fingertips. Maybe you're hanging out here, shifting some weight forward, seeing how it feels to rest the knees onto the arms. Maybe you can lift one foot. Maybe you can lift the other foot. Keep pulling the knees up towards the shoulders, hugging the inner thighs together. And if you find that it's too much for your shoulders, you can bring a block underneath of your face. Bringing a block underneath there, or maybe letting your forehead rest onto the mat. And then slowly starting to put a little bit more pressure into the forearms. So again, if you have shoulders that are a little bit sensitive or maybe injured, just don't bring as much weight into them. Let them develop some strength bit by bit. And if you do, maybe rest your forehead on the mat. Maybe you can lift your feet and then slowly press into the forearms to lift your head. Oh, it feels like you're really close to the ground. That's because you are. But you just work bit by bit to push yourself further away from the floor. Lifting the core, keeping the hips high, but thinking about reaching the chest, reaching forward. That's why you want to look forward. So give it a few more tries if you're still with me. If not, I don't blame you. If you're ready to take a break, then you can. Have some water when you're ready to take that break. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way all the way onto our front side. If you still want to play in your baby crow, then play for as long as you'd like. But if you are ready to come down and to cool down, we'll stack the hands and rest forehead on the hands. Taking a deep breath in together and letting it all out. And feeling in just 30 minutes how much has changed. How much has changed in your body and your mind because you gave yourself this time. You took the opportunity to move, to breathe, to set aside time for you. Whatever inspires you, whatever drives you to get onto the mat, it's a good thing. Because you get so many benefits just from showing up, just from trying, just from believing in yourself, for trying something new, trying something scary. Proving to yourself that you're capable of so much more than you think or than you thought. Let's bend the knees, feet lift up to the sky, and then let your feet fall side to side. And just like windshield wipers, your shins wiping the snow off of the windshield this morning. And then we'll lower the feet back down. Begin to lift your head gently off of your hands. We'll take the hands out wide, so wider than the mat. Elbows pointing up. You're up onto your fingertips. Legs are strong. You can keep your feet wide for a bit of a more gentle sensation. With an inhale, we'll lift the chest just a little. And with an exhale, dip right shoulder towards the mat. Look over the left. Inhale back through center, lift the chest up. Exhale, dip left shoulder down, gaze right. And just a couple more, nice and gentle, each side. Keeping the legs strong here, just to support the back bend. And taking one more each side. Feeling that nice stretch in the shoulder, nice little back bend. Once you've evened it out, You'll come back through center, lowering all the way down. Hands under shoulders, press yourself up. And we'll make our way to a seat in the middle of the mat. And we'll take the feet about hip width apart. We're gonna come into what I call a seated figure 4 stretch. So start with the feet slightly ahead of you and the hands behind you for support. That right ankle, just gonna cross over top of the left knee. And if you feel a little bit too tight, you can always slide that left foot a bit further away. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, you can bring your left foot closer to your hip. Maybe bringing your hands a little closer as well. Maybe you sway a little. Maybe you flex the right foot. Again, I say maybe because we're all different. So every body that shows up, that practices, is very different. We've all gone through different things. So you just take a little bit of time to see what feels good for you. As you enjoy the stretch, hopefully through that outer right hip. And just taking a couple more breaths into it. And then from here, we'll just walk the left foot just a little bit more forward. And then drop your legs over to the left. So we're coming into a seated twist. If it's too much to have that bottom left leg bent, if your right hip is really lifted, you can take your left leg long to lower that right hip. But if everything feels good, if you can reach that right hip towards the mat, just hug your knee with your left arm. Bring your right hand behind you and take a little twist. Nice and gentle, wringing out the spine. Relaxing through those shoulders. They worked really hard this morning. You worked really hard this morning. So if you can, I encourage you to stay for these last few stretches. Of course, if you need to go, you can. And let's slowly unwind from the twist. We'll uncross the legs. Take the feet back to that hip width apart, and we'll come into the other side. So start with the feet a little bit further away from you, and then take the left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. You'll notice I lift my hips, and you might need to as well to get the ankle over top of the thigh. And maybe you stay with your foot far away. Maybe you bring it closer. Maybe you adjust the hands. Option to flex the left foot if you're feeling anything funny in the left knee. An option to move around a little, swaying the hips gently side to side. Sending some deep breaths into the outer left hip and glute. If your neck feels a little funny, you can roll the head side to side. Just doing what you need to do to make this feel good. All right, then we'll step the right foot a little bit further away so that the legs can drop over towards the right. Left foot flat onto the floor. Again, right leg can stay straight, or you can take it long, bringing the hip on down. As you hug the left knee in with your right arm, left hand behind you. Sit up tall. Deep, steady breaths up and down the spine. Relaxing shoulders. Keeping chin level to the floor. And then slowly unwind. And this time you can either make your way all the way onto your back, or if you'd like to finish seated, you can find a comfortable seat. Maybe there's another posture that you want to finish off with. By all means, do what you need to do. And just taking a few moments wherever you are to close the eyes, to take a deep breath in, and to let it go. To feel where you are right now. Your breath and this practice connecting you to this moment, the most important moment, the present. Take as much time as you'd like here in this moment, enjoying the way that you feel after working hard, after playing, hopefully having a little bit of fun. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that we can move together again next week with some gentle, deep, slow stretches. Have a wonderful day and week ahead. Thanks again.